I want to teach for social justice because I don't want to be just another mediocre teacher. I don't want any of my students sitting at their desks asking themselves why their voice doesn't matter, why they don't matter. I want to show my students that I care about them because, as one of the quotes we talked about in class says, kids don't care about how much you know until they know how much you care. Lisa Delpit says, "We do not really see through our eyes or hear through our ears, but through our beliefs." We all see through our own cultural lens and have our own perspectives on life based on what we believe to know and our experiences that shape us into individuals. With that being said, it is imperative as a culturally responsive teacher to recognize not every child is the same. They come from different backgrounds, and that shapes how they proceed through their daily lives. Additionally, as much as people would like things to be equal, that is not the case. And equality does not equal equity. Equity is necessary to give students what they need. The butterflies reading was somewhat of a wake-up call for me. In the narrative, it talks about a little girl who had to write a story, so she wrote hers about killing the butterflies. And after the teacher read the story, she told the girl, "You're not supposed to kill butterflies." Not knowing this girl lives on a farm, and her family has to kill them, or the butterflies will eat their crops. The teacher is sending a message to the girl that her perspective is wrong and in need of change, and that it doesn't matter. Who she is doesn't matter, and where she comes from doesn't matter. This shows that only seeing through your cultural lens prevents you from seeing where people come from. It can also teach that although with good intentions, it is not beneficial to the student to be different splined. As a teacher, it is my job to not only celebrate diversity, but to include it in the curriculum. Coates, in his novel, talked about how school was a barrier to him. The school sugar-coated history, and he was not represented in the classroom. So furthermore, Emily Stiles' piece, Curriculum as a Window and Mirror, explains the importance of teaching to help students see themselves and others different from them represented in the classroom. Being able to see yourself and learn about others accurately and positively will help these students learn and accept diversity in the world, as well as bring about discussions about race, gender, sexuality, and so many other topics. One problem that comes up when trying to incorporate windows and mirrors is the culture of power and the matrix of dominance. In our society, if you are white, male, able-bodied, wealthy, Christian, or heterosexual, you are part of the dominant and or privileged social class. If you don't fit into one of those categories, then you start to notice that there are differences in how you would be treated. This is where oppression comes in. Sexism, racism, classism, for some examples. And because schools are a reflection of society, all of these things find their way into the classroom. And one thing I have learned through the textbook Black Ants and Buddhists and the experiences that Cowhee shares about her students is that they are curious and they want to learn. And teaching for social justice can be incorporated into the class, whether it be reading a book and having a discussion or some other activity. Kids know right from wrong. They are not too young to have conversations about injustice in the world. So in my future, I don't want to be their savior. I want to be their advocate, to help them succeed in our society while also teaching them to accept themselves. I want to build relationships with the students and help them build relationships with each other and the other people in the world. I want to give my students the opportunity to become advocates for social justice, just like this course has allowed me to do.